Start.
We're at that time.
Okay. Call the meeting to order. Please join me for a flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
I have a motion from Steve and a second by Marcia to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. We need to approve the minutes. Is that correct? Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last board meeting, July 17th, 2024. I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Heather and a second by Marcia to approve the regular board minutes from July meeting, the minutes from the meeting July 17th, 2024. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and just everyone, I guess, make a note of future board meetings for the next couple months. And Lucas isn't here about policy committee, but we've already spoken with him about that. And the OSBA Fall Conference.
Yeah. So we have the money in the budget to be able to go. If board members are interested, we can start making reservations for board members to attend the OSBA Fall Conference.
Is it really 5 days this year? I
We
thought
won't
it was
be-
a 3-day.
Yeah, we won't be there 5
Yeah.
days.
I think, well, if
Pre.
there's,
I think
there's
it's a
board
3-day
members that
event.
want to go up, the pre-conference is usually Thursday. And then conference is Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday morning we come home.
I'm game.
Okay, Marcia's in. Linda?
Were we talking about not doing this or?
I think we have a plan that we can do that.
Okay, all right.
Here, I'll look at.
I'll go.
Okay? Heather?
I'll have to look at my calendar and make sure that I can go.
Okay. Steve, you're, and Cliff, are you in? Okay. So we'll start making those hotel arrangements so that, because as you know, everything fills up rather quickly, and making reservations. So, okay, thank you all very much.
It's the 9th, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 7th through the 9th, yeah.
Wait,
That's
it's
like
the
the 12th, I
7th,
can't-
7th through the 9th or the 9th through the 12th?
It's the 7th through the 9th. I'm on this
yeah.
site.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right up.
So it's Friday, so it's not, like, we're not going till Friday.
We would go up,
Thursday.
be there Thursday night, so we could be there for Friday, Saturday, and then come back on
But we don't
Sunday.
have to go every single, like, yeah, I'm gonna look at my thing.
Okay, let's move on to School Spotlight 2.0, and we'll turn the time over to Mrs. May.
Can we circle back?
Oh, sure.
The computer suddenly started doing an update. And it's
Oh.
Okay. We just take a small break.
So you mean,
Okay.
foresee that was going to happen.
okay, so both 2.0 and 3.0 need the computer? Okay, so are you okay with that, Amy, if we switch your positions while the computer, go ahead.
So good evening, everyone. As I know that you're well aware, we have obligations that as a school district, every school district in our state is required to report on if we are in compliance or not in compliance with what we call the Division 22 standards. It's one of our statutes, Statutes 581. There are over 51 of them now. So it has grown exponentially because the state will ask us to do things, but we don't always have a particular funding source or a planned program. So we are reporting right now to the board as to how we did in compliance with these standards in the 23-24 school year. We were in compliance with all but one area. And I will tell you, I just read an article that the Springfield School District, which is one of our large districts in our state, they likewise struggled with the same area of being out of compliance. And this is in the required 30 minutes per day, every school day, for our K-5 students of PE. We offered over 30 minutes of physical movement and or PE at grades K through 5 at Lincoln School and CVE. What we did not realize is that the recess minutes that we are allowed to count necessitated us having an endorsed teacher offering an activity during that recess time. So I want to be very clear that we did offer our students the requisite minutes, but what we did not comply with was having the educator. Schools struggle with this because it's very hard to have a K-5 dedicated PE teacher. The other struggle is that we are not allowed to average the minutes. So I can't give my kids 80 minutes one day, 70 minutes the next day as a third grader and call it good. So the state will want us to be truthful about that. And we will be, as you've seen in your packet, publishing on our website the community report. This is stating that we are out of compliance in that one area, but what the state next cares about is what are we going to do about it. So Principal Ruiz and Principal May, Superintendent Gallagher and I, we've had conversations about how we're going to address that. At Lincoln School, we have a dedicated teacher who is at the afternoon recess time in addition to their PE time, and they are providing that structured activity. At CVE, Principal Ruiz does have Mr. Connors Nelson, who is a licensed elementary PE specialist, who does work with students for certain minutes per day or per week, but he can't meet with all the kids in those grade levels for 30 minutes a day, every day of the week. So the classroom teachers are going to be providing PE with their classrooms outside at the playground, and so the classroom teachers are actually taking governance over that with their own students within the day. So we are addressing it. We are going to be on target and in compliance for 24-25. Does the board have any questions for me? Again, you have the full community report that we have not published yet. But what I do have to tell the state is that we shared with our board the status of our compliance and that our board is aware of that and understands that we were or weren't and that we have a plan to move forward.
So if I understand, the requirement is that kids can't have recess without a PE teacher.
If
In
we're
order for it to count. In order for it to count.
correct, they can have recess, but if we want to count it toward our PE minutes, we've got to have a teacher out there that is offering a structured activity.
So the teachers are only taking on that responsibility when they don't have PE that day. Is this true?
At CVE,
Right,
correct.
so if they have Tuesday, Thursday PE, the teachers are taking it on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays?
Yes.
Absolutely correct. Yes, yes. And I believe that later in the agenda, there's something about acting on that or
Yep.
discussing, or if there were any
The board will have an
concerns.
opportunity to approve. and
Thank you,
accept
yes.
that
And so
in
that's the
action
magic
items.
that they're going to look for. And so for us to do our timeline community report, I report to the state, I report that the board is understanding and has been presented, and then we will be done with our reporting.
I was very happy to see that the only place we were out of compliance was
Yes.
PE. I was like, hey, that's an easy fix.
Yes,
Yeah,
and part
it's-
of that is owing to the board. Thank you for adopting that curriculum for social emotional. We are ahead of the curve from what I've heard from other places, so thank you for being proactive so that we are hitting the ground running with that. All right. Thank you. All right, Principal May.
Well, hello. I'm honored to have a few minutes of your time during the September board meeting. Please bear with me. First couple weeks of school and the sickness is already going around, so I'll do my very best that I can. But summer months are busy in all the buildings, and they're also busy at Lincoln. Our custodians are cleaning, stripping and waxing the floors, dusting all the corners, and preparing for our opening in the fall. But we also have installments that are happening and some facelifts. In our gym, we were able to completely paint it, including the ceiling and the beams. So it went from kind of being dingy and dirty in there to being very clean, bright, and welcoming. And look at the gleam on that floor in that picture. It looks so nice. We were able to add 4 additional interactive monitors. These are taking the place of the old smart boards in the classrooms. This brings us to a total of 8. So every kindergarten and first grade teacher now has these interactive monitors. This is a valuable teaching tool that they use every single day. So we're really excited about this. The image is clear, the sound is crisp, and so teachers really do use these. Another thing is our mini splits. We were able to install 11 of these in different classrooms, and you can see it up there in the corner. These mini splits offer an energy efficient way of heating and cooling the classrooms. Previously, we were using baseboards to heat the building, and then we had big box fans when it was hot that we would use to cool. Those box fans are so loud in the classroom that kids can't hear, or if that wind gets in the way, then their paper flies off their desk, and it's very disruptive. But this, you can instantly feel the difference. Like if you're outside playing at recess, kids want to come back in to be able to cool off in their classroom. And we have never had that experience before. So we are excited about those mini splits. All summer long, our daycare is open and operational. Our daycare staff provides for and takes care of our young children of Coquille. And, they're busy all year round, full house in the summer as well. We had kindergarten launch that happened the 3rd week in August. This was ran by Sarah Moss and Lynn Van Dusen. This consisted of 2 half-day sessions for a total of 5 days. We had 40 students participate. The purpose is just welcoming students that might be feeling a little bit nervous or new to the area. It's really about just welcoming them, getting them familiarized with the building, helping them make new friends, and building those relationships between home and school even before school actually begins. It was a really great experience. We just got done with our staggered start, which I actually really love. We start out with our first graders, and by the first 2 days of school, they're professionals and ready to be role models for our kindergartners that then, come on Thursday, and then we add in our pre-K students shortly after. It allows us to have extra hands where we need to have. But while pre-K and kindergarten students are waiting their turn to come to school, these teachers are setting up meetings with their families, coming in and talking about tips for success, importance of attendance, routines, and just that positive connection again between school and home. And so these meetings are really important, and families really do attend and come, and they are very beneficial. And all of this couldn't happen without our current staffing that we have. And then we've got to add all sorts of new faces to Lincoln. And so we're just going to go through kind of some of our new faces. We have Alicia Whitehead. She's teaching 1st grade. She's coming to us from Winter Lakes Elementary. We have Cody Miller. He's also teaching 1st grade. He's coming to us from CVE. They're both doing a fine job. We have Sydney Sheely. She is our speech and language pathologist. We're so grateful to have her. Kayla Eulery is our pre-K teacher. So she's stepping up from an EA position to the teaching position. We have Savannah Cochran. She spent a short time in daycare this summer, and now she's a Gen Ed EA. You can tell there's lots of assessments. It's the beginning of the year. We have Karen Ashby. She's new to education, and she is another Gen Ed EA that we have. She's a breath of fresh air and delightful and happy to be with all these young children. We have Willow. She spent a short time again in daycare this summer. We stole a lot of staff from daycare. But anyways, she is a special ed EA. And then we have Cassandra Hardman. She's joining us as one of our new daycare employees. So we're so thankful for all of these people that help make Lincoln the place that Lincoln is. And before, I kind of close things up, I kind of want to talk about one of the big investments that we made was adopting Frog Street curriculum for our pre-K and our preschool. And our Frog Street curriculum is designed for 3 and 4-year-olds. So our 3-year-olds is our preschool housed within daycare, and then our 4-year-olds, which is our pre-K program. So it's specially designed just for that age group. I wrote some things here. I've got to make sure I read this so that way I can get it right. It's developmentally friendly, focuses on the social emotional development of young children. It uses songs, rhymes, and finger plays to build connections with each other. In this picture, you can see that Miss Kayla, she's holding Fanny, the puppet. For preschool, the 3-year-olds, it's Fernando, the puppet, and it's big, and there's a box behind her, and that's where Fanny or Fernando lives, and there's this little wake-up song, and then out comes the puppet, and they can use this puppet in all sorts of ways to solve different problems. It's highly engaging for the children. This curriculum comes with over 70 book titles, half of those being nonfiction, which is so important for our young children to be exposed to nonfiction books. And then there's an online site. It's called LilyPad, and it allows teachers to access just the online portal. It has lesson plan templates, all the songs that are used, books, additional resources, all the things. But again, we are just so grateful to have this resource. We have all the pieces. We're not having to hunt and peck and look for all the things. It's there, and it's good. It's good quality. So thank you for that. And then before I go, if you have a chance, please come join us for our open house coming right up on September 26th from 5 to 6:30. Thank you guys so much for your time. Do you have any questions for me?
Lovely report.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll move on to our school program written reports. Any questions for Tiffany from Winter Lakes High School? I did have a question. What is the youth development meeting that you had?
So we had a grant a while ago for the YEP funding that helped fund a lot of our schools in the transitional services. We were not awarded that grant this last 2-year cycle. So I met with Tanya and I both met with the group, and we're trying to get on for the next 25 through 27 cycle. We're going to start writing that grant for our students.
Oh, okay. So it was, I thought it was I thought it had something to do, like you were meeting with kids for something, but nope, gotcha. It is for kids, you're right. Any other questions for Tiffany? Okay, any questions for Sharon for Winter Lakes Elementary School? I feel like we were just there. Looking at your campus. Okay.
Can I take just one moment?
Sure.
So in your work packet, you'll see that I wrote down the numbers that the teachers have currently, and I mentioned it briefly to you, but I think it's important for you to continue to think about it. I know we're really anxious about our enrollment across the district, and but the number 100 is 25 kids more than we started last year. And last year we had K1 and huge 8th grade class. And so, as you all know, we see the cycles of big classes graduating, little classes come in. But we are up. We're up for new students, and we have some students students that have left, but I think it's a really good reflection on the amount of work that you guys have helped us do. So it'll continue to grow. I'm not worried at all about our numbers because it'll continue to help us in the future. So.
Would you say that most of those 8th graders went to Tiffany's campus this year?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We haven't gotten a lot of transfer request records for the 8th grade bunch. So yeah, that has helped.
Okay, good. All right, Coquille Junior High School, Mr. Dixon, I thought I saw him, oh, there he is. Any questions for Mr. Dixon? Well, we seem to be off to a good start this morning, having a junior high student, seems good. Coquille High School, any questions for Paige? All right. Lincoln School of Early Learning. Probably not, because we just had a presentation and just visited your school. But any questions? Oops. All right. Okay, any questions for our curriculum director, Tanya? I guess this goes, I know we adopted a new curriculum for Winter Lakes because, and maybe I should have asked you guys how it's going. I know you wrote in your report, Sharon, that it was okay.
We're working out with this, but we've only had our kids for 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
What do you think, Tiffany?
Well, we rolled our curriculum out during summer school, and we got a lot of really positive feedback from the students saying that it was easy to navigate, they loved the interactive videos, and that they felt that it was a better curriculum platform than what we've had before, including the Audition platform that we had prior. For that.
Well, good. Okay. Any other questions for Tanya? All right. CTE special programs. It's Mr. Philly, right? Any questions for Jeff? Okay. For our athletic director, where is he? Right there. Mr. Jones, Tony. Any questions?
Tony, and I don't know if this is a question for you or maybe Paige. I know we had an incident with a student that got hurt out on the highway. That student's okay? I heard it was a pretty bad.
Either the preliminary reports were a little exaggerated or she recovered really quickly.
Either way, she's doing
in
well.
good shape. She does have a few stitches on her nose, forehead, but coming around into the recovery. And initially was thinking trying to go out for the season, looking like T-word days next week maybe.
Oh yeah, sure, next week.
Yeah, they said like 2 weeks.
She was hoping this week, but a little more time.
I just want to say thank you. Like over this past year, me personally, as a parent who has kids in sports, I've seen huge improvement. So just so far, so thank you. 3-3. Ian scored 2 of the 3. I'm so happy. That's sad I missed it.
Okay, any questions for maintenance for Carl? Feel like
But I also want to say, Carl, we just toured some of the schools and amazing job. Like Wayne was like, oh, our team did this and Carl's team did this, and they look beautiful, especially the Lincoln gym. Like I cannot believe it. It looks brand new. And the colors you guys picked out, like I don't know who was in charge of that, but great.
Okay, move on to technology with Sean. Does anyone have any questions for him? The only question I have is our website, our school district website. Is that up yet? I know I've just heard from people, or you do that.
Yeah.
Carl doesn't do it. You do that.
I do it.
Okay, then
It's up.
I'm asking the wrong person. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a slow process, but it's getting there. Paige has
Somebody
done
asked me a
great.
question about it.
Paige,
But
gold star.
I know that last year, one of the last things that we left off was the upgrade to the Wi-Fi or whatever for the students at Coquille. And that was all going in the process or next on the list. That I'm assuming that's all done and that should be.
So during spring break, we replaced all the Wi-Fi systems in all the school districts. Over the summer, the Wi-Fi situation with the guest Wi-Fi services has been created and put in place.
Nice.
So now we have a guest services Wi-Fi connection that's absolutely isolated from the rest of the school district. So there's no way for devices on the guest Wi-Fi to even communicate remotely with any of the devices on the school district Wi-Fi.
Speaking of Wi-Fi, that just made me think of another question. How are the students at the high school responding to the no school? I mean, I know how my student has responded to it, but overall?
It's okay, you know, I don't have a whole, they get it, right? They need to be in class and focused and not on their phones. So it's been good, and you know, we give gentle reminders, and they've responded well so far.
Perfect.
And I would like to say, you know, we've seen more books being checked out already, so it's more kids reading, and engagement's up. It seems like a good thing.
Good, good.
Okay, food services, any questions about that for Marcy? Okay, Nate, any questions for our transportation supervisor? Got to sample the new bus, how nice that is. Okay, any questions for our school resource deputy, John Owens?
Now, how did the driving school go?
I think overall all of them well. I mean, there's changes that I'll need to make. That's my first year doing it. I had 17 students. Like the report, they all passed the classroom time. One student did not make past the driving part, but I worked with the parents for a while and they understood why, and she's continuing to work on her driving. I think overall it's a good experience. And
Good.
It's a great program that we're starting to put together.
Good.
My plan is to try to, for sure this summer, do it again, possibly this winter and spring, to do a smaller, like, I don't know, we call it 0 hour, or, you don't only need 4 students, because the way that ODOT has it set up, you have to meet certain standards, classroom time and drive time, so.
Nice. So maybe an extra period, a morning period is what you're
Yeah, like
thinking?
maybe from like 7 to 8.
Got it.
For how long would that be for? Like how many
Semester.
weeks?
Probably trimester.
Probably have to get you.
Yeah.
So half a school year.
Okay. And you do the drive time then too, or?
Yeah, so you have to have so many hours of classroom time before you can start driving. And then because when I was doing it in the summertime, I could do each drive within an hour's worth of driving. But during the school year, I'd have to do 30-minute drives so we get it, each kid could get 30 minutes. So that portion's going to take longer, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, I saw you frequently in the car with students, and I maybe steered clear a little bit.
I saw them on Fairview Road quite a bit.
Yeah, how much is that?
Yeah. I should say I saw them pulled over letting people pass on Fairview Road.
That was too early.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey, John, does your class keep them from having to take the driving test with the driving instructor?
Yeah, so when we're all done, the card that ODOT gives, they give it to me and then I give it to the students. All I have to do is go in when they turn 16, bring the card to D&D, and then they just ask the parents, has your son or daughter driven 50, because they have to put in 50 hours
100.
of drive time with their parents or an adult.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, so you were on my list to thank as well, that Ian went through that class and they were the first, the guinea pigs to try it out and see what worked and didn't work and, how to change things, but thank you for doing that.
It was definitely a learning process for me, so.
I think for everybody, that's how it is when you do something for your first time.
Yeah.
Will you take a couple of your new deputies on your class with you? Talk about that later.
That was mentioned by somebody else.
Really quick before we move on, I just want to go back. Tanya, in your report, there's a link to the new curriculum that we are starting. Can you email us that? We don't have to try to type that.
I already looked at that.
Okay, thank you.
I can read that. Takes me a second.
All right, let's move on. 5.0 fiscal report. Denise?
So in the business office, we're getting ready right now for our fiscal audit for school year 23-24. That's going to be happening later on this month. And we're just getting all of our invoices paid and paying our employees. We're gearing up for a September payroll, which is one of the biggest payrolls of the year. So we're working fast and ferocious on that. And open enrollment has been going on as well for insurance. So that's another piece that will take place. The 15th is the last day to enroll for that. So we've got a lot of stuff that's going on in the business office right now. And we're all enjoying it and getting to see everybody. And our financials right now, as it stands, it looks like we're projecting that we're going to be $8,000 above our $1 million contingency. So that's where we're projecting as of the end of August. So, does anyone have any questions at all?
Okay. Turn the time over to Wayne for our superintendent's report.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about summer projects, and I want to thank the board for being willing to come in and get a chance to see some of our buildings this afternoon, so thank you. But some of the projects that we were able to complete that you didn't get a chance to see today is we were able to add a new cooler at the high school in the kitchen, and that completes what we've systematically been trying to do for years to make sure that every one of our freezers and walk-in coolers in each of our 3 kitchens have been upgraded to a more modern status. So that has been complete. We also completed, as far as kitchens, we also completed at Lincoln, put in new flooring, new paint, new stove, a refrigerator that we were actually given from the hospital, much needed upgrade to the Lincoln kitchen. And at CVE, we finished also in that kitchen some ceiling tiles to make sure that we would meet that requirement in all of our ceiling tiles. The last few that we had were the ones that with the fire suppression system. We were able to replace those ceiling tiles this summer. So our kitchens have been a total upgrade as far as all of them now have new flooring, all of them new freezers and coolers. So very excited, and we've been continuing to replace our appliances as we can. As far as Coquille Valley Elementary, we did our LED retrofit there this summer. You'll probably remember summer before we did Lincoln. The plan is next summer we will do the high school so that we have all of our lights in the district converted over to LED. That's a big undertaking and something that we've been methodically working on. We also, as you had a chance to see the mini splits at Lincoln, there were also mini splits, 9 of them installed at the high school as well. Still don't have every classroom in the district, but we have made huge gains as far as making sure that all of our classrooms have heating and cooling. And then at Winter Lakes Elementary, you had a chance to see those modular classrooms where they were finished painting this summer, fixing some of the dry rot that we had in the one modular, and things are definitely looking looking very nice in those classrooms. So those really some highlights. We also did a lot of weed eating, a lot of brush removal, trying to continue to make our campuses as visible as possible. We have additional things that are yet to happen. Mr. Jones secured a donation from Oregon First Community Bank of a very large American flag. We need to get that installed, as well as we have some new scoreboard additions in the big gym. Also in the big gym, we no longer have those swinging backboards on the end. We installed the vertical swinging backboards, which are very nice, going to be a huge upgrade for basketball during their season. So we have some much needed improvements. Still have to hang the American flag, and we still need to add, we're partnering with PP&L to add 2 parking lot lights for the Lincoln parking lot. We purposely didn't add lighting at Lincoln because we didn't want to upset the neighbors initially, but it is really, really dark in that parking lot in the wintertime, and so staff input and request was, can we just put a couple lights? Yeah, we're just going to put a couple lights. So that is something that we still have on deck to come. But a lot of work this summer. Huge thank you to our maintenance and our technology and food service and transportation. Everybody literally at some point was pitching in, getting their hands dirty. District office staff were out and about, clearing brush, painting lines, doing everything so that we could be ready for school this fall. It was a huge undertaking, and I really want to say thank you to everybody. Next thing I want to point out to the board is our population report, and if you look at that in the board packet, this literally has been changing by the minute. So currently looking at Lincoln is actually up 22 students from where they were last year. CVE is down 10, but I'm anticipating that that will go up. Coquille Junior Senior High School is also up about 24 students from where they ended last year. Winter Lakes Elementary, as Sharon pointed out, last year they started at 75 students, ended at 170. This year they're starting already at 100. So I agree with Sharon. I think that population will go up. Winter Lakes High School is currently at 215, and I know Tiffany told me that there's a number of students that are in the queue waiting to get registered, as well as Julie has had me sign a number of IDTs here recently, so I'm anticipating that number to go up as well. So the 1,185 is below what we budgeted. What we budgeted in the spring, we budgeted 1,250 students. We were significantly below that amount. So Denise and I had an opportunity to communicate with ODE, and there's a one-time opportunity to make an adjustment to what we estimated. And so we made a minor adjustment. We lowered our estimated number at ODE to 1,220. I'm confident, I know we're not there yet, but I'm confident that we'll make 1,220 before the year's out, and that will be a solid average for us. I was not confident we were going to make the 1,250. And remember, just like my first year, when we budgeted at 1,340 and we never reached that, and then when May came around, we had an adjustment. We want to make sure that we don't end up in that same spot. So if we're low, when we get to that May 2026, we'll get money back versus having to pay. So I want to make sure that we can protect our staffing levels by not getting to a point where we're having to pay ODE back. That's why we made that adjustment. And because we dropped our enrollment by 30 students, that 30 students equated to, I believe, 309,000 and some change. There are some cuts that we had to make in the budget. Some of those cuts are personnel related, so I will share that as confidential information during executive session. As far as any kind of correspondence, if you look in your board packet, the district received an amazing thank you letter from the George Johnson family. I hope all of you get an opportunity to read that. I think it's very heartfelt and made that whole experience was very positive for all of us as well, and even more so for those folks that knew George. But getting that thank you letter really brought all of that together. So I hope that all of you get a chance to read that. We also had an email from Joanne Beck regarding where things were located on the website. We were able to answer Joanne's question and make sure that all of those were up, and we actually changed things around to make it a little easier to find. So Julie did a nice job with that. So we did answer Joanne's question. And then we got a wonderful surprise about two of our administrators. We received an email to the board from a principal up north named Jeff Green, and he personally wanted to make the board aware how appreciative he was of his interaction with Tanya Cinco and Armando Ruiz. So I thought that was great. Principals are extremely busy at the beginning of the year, and for him to take the time to email the board and let you know the hard work and dedication of two of our administrators, I thought that was truly outstanding and worth noting. So other than that, that's all I have. Are there any questions?
So that one-time adjustment, does that mean once a year you can make that adjustment? Or
Yeah.
you're allowed to
We
do it
can make
once
an
a year if you needed to?
Right.
Okay.
And so we budgeted it at $12.50, and sitting at 1,185, we're a long ways from that number. And remember, that's where we have to average, so trying to make sure that we could hit a number so that we would not have to be getting to May and having to pay back. I'd much rather get to May and say, give me some money.
That's right.
Okay, let's move on to 7.0, discussion action. This is what Tanya was talking about, right?
Need a motion to approve?
Yep.
7.1 Division 22 standards?
Yep.
Make that motion.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion from Heather and a second by Cliff to approve 7.1, which is the Division 22 standards. All in favor? Aye. Okay, let's move on to 8.0, the consent agenda.
Did we not?
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda 8.1 to 8.21.
Okay, I have a motion from Heather to approve 8.1 through 8.21 and a second by Marcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 9.0, staff and public comments. Are there any staff or public comments? Okay, then let's, 10.0, we'll move into executive session per ORS 192.6602F to consider information or records that are exempt from disclosure by law, including written advice from your attorney. Should we go upstairs? Yes. Throw all the papers in.
It's a thumbs up when you're ready.
Okay, I'm going to gavel us back into open session. Do I have a motion? Yeah, I moved. Yeah, I guess I don't.
The Coquille School District Board of Directors understands that it is the board's responsibility to monitor the behavior of each board member acting in the capacity of a board member. Board members have a public responsibility to conduct themselves responsibly with respect to interactions with school district employees. This public responsibility does not allow board members to engage in conduct that violates board policy regarding interactions with district employees. In consideration of the above, the Board of Directors has determined that Director Echeverria, as an elected member of the Board of Directors, acted in a manner inconsistent with the policies of this board and the director for her role in on June 1st, 2024 incident impacting 2 district teachers that violated Board Policy BBF, Board Member Standards of Conduct. In consideration, therefore, the Board of Directors of the Coquille School District do hereby condemn the conduct and actions of Director Echeverria, and by passage of this motion to censure, do hereby censure Director Echeverria. The censure is a tool used to separate the liability of the entire board, the governing body, from the actions of individual board members. The board also further requests that Director Echeverria resigns from her role as a member of the board. The board also would like to move that the board delegate the authority to the board chair to draft the letters to the complainants and respondents during the outcome of this complaint.
I've had a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, there was a motion made by Marcia for censure and to ask for resignation, seconded by Steve. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's close this meeting then.